Third match, Will Ospreay, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, against our buddy Lance Archer, one half of the now defunct Killer Elite Squad. Interesting thing to note, Lance Archer, I believe, is from Texas, and that is where the show is, Joe. Is there going to be a hometown favoritism there?
Again, this is one of those situations where I could see them pulling crazy upset in the first round or in the first night rather, because I know a lot of people are expecting Ospreay to have a really good showing in this tournament, but I would not have him lose this match to Lance Archer. I think if you're going to have him lose a couple matches, which I'm sure that he will, that maybe it'll be two guys that he can face further down the line for the junior heavyweight title. So I'm going to say that Ospreay gets the win here over Lance Archer.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think, I'm picking two upsets in the first two matches. Will Ospreay needs to show that he could take down the big guys, which he's shown before, and he's going to have a heck of a match here with Lance Archer. Next up is the match I am looking forward to the most. It is Ibushi and the debuting, if you will, Kenta, the former Hideo Itami. Joe, this match is going to detail, to me, if I just read something that Kenta said today, that he did not have fun. He did not have fun wrestling in the WWE. I can't imagine why. But if his New Japan run does not go well, he's going to retire. I think there's a lot of pressure being put on him. I think, part of that might be for show, but I think a lot of that's serious. I think what we're going to see is a very strong, hard-hitting, brutal, typical Ibushi match. But I think to establish himself as a legitimate threat, Kenta takes this one.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking as well, to establish him in the tournament and give him, some credibility, at least as far as G1 credibility is concerned. I think Kenta's going to win this match here. I think it'll make some of the other matches for him in the block a little more interesting, and also have Ibushi kind of fighting from, losing early and trying to get himself back into the tournament mix for the leader. So I'm going to say Kenta gets the win here as well.
Okay, that leads us to the main event. The two guys that are destined to do this until the day all of us die. That is Okada and Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan. I'm really torn. I'm going back and forth on this one. I would have Okada win. I don't think he needs to take a loss to Tanahashi on night one, and I don't think a loss to Okada is going to hurt Tanahashi's standing at all. So I'm saying Okada win this one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with Okada getting a win here. I almost kind of forgot, looking back at some of the tournament history, that Tanahashi won last year's tournament. So it was, so I could see him getting off to a slow start this year and losing to Okada here in Dallas.
I'm going to really quick, because Bagu is rapid fire texting me. I'm going to give you his predictions. He says Sonata, Fale, Kenta, and a draw for Okada versus Tanahashi. Not for nothing, a draw is not a bad prediction on night one. But I like to see some finishes, especially with the big show in Texas. I think it's the right thing to do. If you're bringing the G1 to America, you got to give people a finish. So do you want to give our predictions for the blocks and for the winner of the tournament? Do you want to go week to week? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's just go with the blocks and then the overall winner, I think, because otherwise we might be here for like 3 hours. So I think...
want to do this. Why don't you give me your finalists for Block A, your finalists for Block B, and then your winners of each?
Okay, I'm going to start with Block B and say that the finalists will be Naito and Shingo. I'm going to say those will be the top two guys in Block B. And then for Block A, this is a tough one too, because there's so many good guys in this block. I'm going to go with Ospreay and Ibushi as the top two in Block A. And I think the winners will be, Naito and Ospreay, I'll say, go to the finals for Block B and Block A, and I'll say that Naito gets the win and wins the G1 this year.
Okay, that prediction was so heavy, I literally have to take a breath. So let me just reiterate what you said. Naito and Shingo for Block B.
Yeah.
And Ibushi and Will Ospreay for Block A.
Right.
Will Ospreay beats Ibushi. Naito beats Shingo, and Naito wins the 2019 G1.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start with Block A, and I think it's going to be Okada and Ibushi in the finals. I'm sorry, in the finals of Block A. I think Ibushi is going to beat Okada. I think in Block B, going to echo. You know what? No, Joe. I'm not going to echo your sentiments. Naito and Jay White in the finals of Block B.
Okay.
Jay White loses to Naito. And Ibushi beats Naito. So for me, I have Ibushi and Naito in the finals with Ibushi winning the 2019 G1.
Okay.
Man, when you sit there, okay. Unbelievably enough, Baku just texted me the exact same prediction that I just gave. That's interesting. I mean, Joe, when you sit here and you look at this list, there are so many possibilities for finals matches. Like, the only thing that would upset me is if like Bad Luck Fale and Yano were in the finals. There's so like I could see Will Ospreay winning the G1, right? Like that's not completely out of their own possibility. The guy's done everything else this year. Give him the G1. I have no problem with it. Ibushi, if you want to push Sonata, if this is the year to push Sonata, they do that. Zack Sabre Jr., even Kenta. If Kenta's going to have a big run in New Japan, he wins the G1 fine. Naito, Ishii, why not? Ishii is strong as hell. He's huge in Japan. Moxley, I probably not. Shingo, maybe. That's what's so cool about this one. You really have no idea what they're going to do week to week, and I think that makes for a super exciting tournament that I'm really looking forward to watching.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of possibilities. There's some new faces this year into the tournament where some guys from past years are no longer there. So, it adds to the mix. And there's some guys in there, like you said, some of the names that you mentioned are guys that are relatively new to the promotion or, they've been on a run. And, you can't really envision them taking a lot of losses, at least, at this particular time. So you've got guys like Moxley, who's new to it, Shingo, Kenta, people that, it's like, okay, well, they probably don't want to hang too many losses on these guys, but at the same time, do you want to put them in a spot where they're in the finals or something like that? So there's going to be a lot of interesting matchups and a lot of interesting results, as the weeks go on in the tournament.
How mad are you going to be when Yano beats Shingo, Jeff Cobb, Jay White, Moxley, Naito, and Ishii?
Listen, I hope that you're joking. I don't think that. Hopefully that will not happen. I'm sure he'll get one or two wins in the block. But let's not get nuts and give him too many victories in that particular in that block.
Hot take: Yano beats Moxley.
Oh God, help me! That's brutal. I can't sign off on that. Maybe Tai Chi. Give him that.
I have no problem. I have no problem with him beating Tai Chi.
Maybe Juice. I give him Juice. I could give you that, but that's about as far as I can go. I can't go much further with Yano.
I'm with you on that one, man. Well, either way, I mean, I'm excited for you to be a part of this, man. It's probably, I think this is my 4th year watching the G1. I'm excited for you to take the plunge, get the New Japan world, and really immerse yourself in nothing but great professional wrestling for the next month and a half of your life.
Yeah, well, I don't really have anything else to do, so why not, right?
Well, I mean, we'll be covering the G1 as the show goes on week to week. We'll update the standings and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a good tournament. Now, touching base on where we were last week. Last week was, I mean, it was an action-packed week. It was the first time in the history of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We did back-to-back episodes, and luckily enough, we did back-to-back interviews. We had Evolve star Anthony Henry on Thursday night, and then Friday, Mercedes Martinez of Shine fame and of the Mae Young Classics dropped by the show. So if you're a fan of either of those talents, even if you're not, I mean, they're really good interviews. We really appreciated their time, and they Evolve, WWN, and Shine had one hell of a weekend last weekend, Joe. Wouldn't you say?
I would, yeah. I mean, they were, like you said, we did the double shot, and with especially coming off the announcement of the Evolve Anniversary show airing on the WWE Network, there was a lot of promotion of that during the Evolve show, especially. Crowd was hot. Undisputed Era was in the house, most of them anyway, sans Adam Cole. Tyler Breeze, Tommaso Ciampa was there for the Evolve show signing autographs. So it was really, a lot of good matches with both NXT talent and non-NXT talent from Evolve. And the Shine show as well was quality. Mercedes Martinez in the main event against Allison Kay. So, I think it's worth people checking out if you want to either do a one-shot purchase or if you want to subscribe to Club WWN and check out all their events that they have in the history of Evolve, Shine, and some of the other promotions. So really cool events. Looking forward to the Evolve show next weekend on WWE Network, which is going to have some really cool matches as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to let's be honest here. There's no reason to buy the shows individually. Spend the $9, get the Club WWN, and you get the whole library of matches. I mean, there's from Evolve 1, which started off, funny enough, the first ever match at Evolve was Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish. And all the way up until now, it's a great service. I'm a little upset with AK, our friend Allison Kay, the way she, the way she decided to end her match with Mercedes Martinez. I think, maybe the championship, Joe, got the best of her. And they were having a hell of a match until then. So I'm assuming we'll get a rematch of that soon. But like you said, next weekend with the news of Evolve 131 going face-to-face, head-to-head with AEW's Fight for the Fallen, I'm sure you and I will break down both of those cards next week. But kudos to Gabe Sapolsky and, the crew at Evolve. Really impressive what they're able to do. And I think they put on some great matches next week. And I'm also hoping that we get a Shine exhibition match or a Shine, I forget what they call it, not introductory match. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Special attraction or something like that?
Showcase match. There we go. A Shine showcase match on the show as well. So that being said, there was a lot of wrestling last weekend, Joe. I want to know what your match of the week was.
Well, I mean, if we're going over the course of the last week, there was a few different choices, I think, out there that were good. But considering that we were at Evolve 129 on Saturday, and I did watch Evolve 130 on Sunday from Brooklyn, but I liked personally the AR Fox and Tyler Breeze match from Evolve 129 in Queens, New York last Saturday. I thought that was, there's a lot of good matches that were on that show. That one was just a particular favorite of mine from the weekend. And honorable mention, non-Evolve show, the Ring of Honor television this week, I would say Jeff Cobb versus Mark Haskins was also worth a watch. But Tyler Breeze and AR Fox was my match of last week.
I'm a little upset because that was right up there with mine. However, I have a tie. I'm going to go a little bit outside the box last week. I know we had Fyter Fest and all the big name shows. Chris Dickinson versus Matt Justice from Beyond Wrestling's Uncharted Territory. They had a hardcore match, and it was everything you want in a hardcore match in 2019. It was brutal. It was hard hitting. There was a Pazuzu bomb off of the stage. I didn't know much about Matthew Justice before that match, but I know a lot about him now, and Chris Dickinson is probably putting together the best matches of his career. So for me, it was that, and then tied with, I don't know. I even feel bad bringing this up. The Unwanted versus Kurt Stallion and a certain I don't even, what do we call him now, Joe? Retro AG, who he's. You think you know a guy, right? You think you know a guy. They have a hell of a match. And what happens, Joe? What did he... I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, people should go watch Evolve 129, and they can go check out that tag team match and the events that transpired afterwards involving one Brandy Lauren as well. I have to say, I'm a little surprised. I thought you'd go for Roderick Strong and Anthony Henry. I thought that would be in there for you. But... all good matches from that show, and
but that's what you and I are talking about right now. There were literally 3 matches on that card that could have been, match of the week, and not for nothing. Honorable mention to Roderick Strong versus Austin Theory at Evolve 130. People need to start watching Evolve, man. The talent is just It's insane. But let's fast forward to this week, Joe. What are we